In this lesson, you will learn about web filtering. This lesson covers the following. Test a web filter configuration. Inspect HTTPS traffic using web filtering methods. Check web filtering statistics. And troubleshoot common web filtering issues. Web filtering in FortiOS operates in one of three inspection modes: proxy, flow, or DNS. By default, FortiGate caches the rating results it receives from FortiGuard. So before it sends rating requests to FortiGuard, FortiGate checks that the website category isn't already in the local cache. You can configure the time to live, TTL, of the entries in the web filtering cache. During web filtering inspection, FortiGate first checks the static URL filter list, then the FortiGuard categories, and then the content filtering list. Finally, FortiGate can execute some advanced options, such as manipulation of HTTP headers. FortiGate scans HTTPS sites using the SSL inspection profile settings. There are two SSL inspection methods for web filtering. Number 1. The full SSL inspection method proxies the SSL session, allowing full content inspection of encrypted data. FortiGate decrypts the traffic, inspects it, and re-encrypts it. This is known as man-in-the-middle inspection. Number 2. During SSL certificate inspection, FortiGate doesn't decrypt or inspect encrypted traffic. Using this method, FortiGate inspects only the initial unencrypted portion of the SSL communication. If the SSL communication includes the server name indication, SNI field, FortiGate uses the server name contained there to categorize the site. If the SNI isn't present because the browser might not support it, FortiGate gets the server name from the Issued To field in the server digital certificate. Keep in mind, in some cases, the server name in the Issued To field doesn't match the name of the site. For example, the value of the Issued To field in the digital certificate of youtube.com is google.com. So if you connect to youtube.com from a browser that doesn't support SNI, and FortiGate uses the SSL certificate inspection method, FortiGate assumes incorrectly that you are connecting to google.com and uses the google.com category instead of the category for youtube.com. An administrator can access the FortiGuard portal to check to which category a URL belongs. In the portal, administrators can also request to reclassify a URL. You can use the FortiOS CLI to display the list of FortiGuard categories and their numeric values. You can use FortiGuard category numbers when you create web profiles using the FortiOS CLI or using scripts in FortiManager. Similar to using the GUI, you can configure different actions for each category using the CLI. You can use category numbers to test whether a specific category or subcategory is allowed or blocked. Use this URL format shown on this slide for that purpose. In the example shown on this slide, the category number 65 is tobacco. The test confirms that all sites listed in this category will be blocked. The replacement message page displays the category that is blocked with other information, such as client IP, server IP, and user information. Two session flags indicate whether the traffic is inspected in proxy-based mode or flow-based mode. The flag REDIR means the traffic is inspected in proxy-based mode. The flag NDR means the traffic is inspected in flow-based mode. In the case of proxy-based inspection, the debug flow contains the message sent to the application layer. Use the following CLI command to list error counters and other statistics related to web filtering. Diagnose, web filter, FortiGuard, statistics, list. A continual increase in some of the error counters usually indicates communication problems with FortiGuard. The output also shows counters for the number of sites that were allowed, blocked, logged, monitored, and so on. Use the same command to display counters for web filtering cache, including memory, requests, and hits and misses. Use the command diagnose, test, application, URL filter 1 to display all options available for the web filtering test command. You can use this command to troubleshoot issues related to web filtering. To list the content of the FortiGuard web filtering cache, use the command diagnose, test, application, URL filter 3. For each URL, the output lists its rating by domain name and IP address. The rating by domain name is the first 2 digits of the first number from left to right. It is the category ID represented in hexadecimals. The rating by IP address is the first 2 digits of the second number. It is also the category ID represented in hexadecimals. The command get web filter categories lists all the categories with the respective ID numbers. In this list, the IDs are represented in decimals. So if you want to find the category name for a URL in the cache, use the first command to list the cache and convert the ID number from hexadecimals to decimals. Then use the second command to find the category name for that ID number. Another tool you can use to troubleshoot web filtering is the Web Filter Real-Time Debug. First, you can filter by user or source IP address using the following command: diagnose, debug, URL filter, src addr. After that, you can enable the real-time debug using the following command: diagnose, debug, application, URL filter, -1. This slide shows an example output of the real-time debug when the URL to categorize isn't in the FortiGuard cache. The two messages display the URL, category, source, destination IP addresses, and service. This slide shows another example of the real-time debug, but in this case, the URL category exists in the FortiGuard cache. Tips for troubleshooting web filtering. 1. Get the specifics first. What URLs are having the problem? Is it random? Does it happen with all the users? 2. Check the logs. 3. Is the problem caused by an incorrect user group configuration? Are the user access privileges correct? And 4. Run the real-time debug while reproducing the issue. Here are some additional tips. Check that web filtering isn't disabled globally, and if users are having intermittent issues, check that the communication with FortiGuard is stable. In other words, check the web filtering statistics. In this lesson, you learned about the following: order of inspection, HTTPS inspection, testing web filtering statistics, and troubleshooting web filtering problems.